Hello, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Dog Cinema. I am your host, and we are at the most, and we are out here getting Roca walked and getting her ready, burn off some energy in this nice afternoon, nice fall weather as we start working our way to Thanksgiving and Christmas here, and enjoying ourselves. Kind of still doing horror movies only because I'm getting caught up on some newer stuff that I haven't seen that I wanted to take a look at, like today's movie, Weapons, and kind of an interesting film to say the least, but yeah, wanted to take a look at those. I got Naked Gun, I got another horror movie, Bring Her Back, that I want to check out, and there's some other ones out there that I know have just hit some streaming services and stuff, so just keep up. And today we're talking about Weapons and the overall effect that was quite an interesting film, to say the least. I would recommend to actually watch it. I think it's well put together thriller, horror movie in this. I mean, it has its moments. So again, we're going to be talking spoilers and everything else. But if you're into witchcraft movies, this is a perfect one for you. As you can see, Roca found a wonderful smell. She is a Labrador healer, so she gets fixated on anything and everything. So this wears her out in the best way possible. So high energy dog who is like Velcro, and she's a wonderful dog to have. She helps out greatly with my grandmother. As a matter of fact, my grandmother's 95, and she had a fall the other day, and lo and behold, the dog came and got my son, who then was able to help out my grandmother because I was at work. So, you know, she's a wonderful, loving pet. So let's get into Weapons, and here we go. So Weapons, horror movie from the same director who brought Barbarians. If you've ever seen that movie, you kind of know what you're going to get within the scope of how things progress. This one kind of has the same progression. You think the movie's about one thing, and then right in the middle of the movie it changes into something kind of a little bit different, and I'm all for that in one sense. The movie is highly original, and the actual meaning of the movie Weapons is not what we think of it as, but it does make sense by the end of the movie, because basically the premise is that these school children disappeared from a teacher's classroom. There's like 18 of them, and only one of the children didn't disappear. I will say that by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's kind of like a huge plot hole. As tight as the movie is in the first half, it's kind of loosey-goosey in the second half when you kind of put it all together. I'm not saying that inherently bothers me too much. I'm just saying that it kind of needed maybe a once-over, or what looks really good on paper as a script maybe doesn't translate as well from a thematic sense of what you see. But that doesn't necessarily make it a completely bad movie. I kind of put this in here with like Sinners, where I understand some of the hype on the movie. I understand Amy Madigan getting some hype for her witch character, the aunt. She is kind of this weird, creepy character. She plays her pretty good, though I would actually say that some of the makeup and how her looks translates more than just her acting. I get how she has gone around saying how she really likes the role. It is a juicy role in that regard. You can just kind of be over the top with it and just have a lot of fun. And as an actor or actress, you don't have to think too much in that realm. You just kind of go for it. And so I understand the freedom within that. And but as a thematic role, the look is more akin than the actual acting of it. So I still like the character, the villain. She is interesting. I think the movie gives it up way too early, so we can see this. The movie's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Literally the first hour and 5 minutes has got some great tension. Absolute horror movie, has some jump scares, but it does a great job with nightmares and just kind of all these interesting things building. It's kind of done in a Pulp Fiction kind of way, where we're introduced to a character, it's their side of the story or the mystery, and then we kind of develop into other characters, and you see certain events happen at the same time, and they're mix and match until we get to the mystery that's kind of solved in the first hour and 5 minutes. And then the next hour and 5 minutes, the tonality kind of changes in this film. That's kind of where I think a lot of people will get lost, because I see it from a writing standpoint, what they were going for. I just don't know. Like I said, visually it pays off. It becomes really tense and taut, and then decides it's going to just use a lot of black humor because of this witch. And I think the Alex boy that you kind of start following by the tail end of the movie, I understand it. I just don't think that part works as well. It's still an entertaining movie. It still can kind of keep you engrossed. It just kind of feels like two separate movies a little bit, and some of the wind kind of gets pulled out from the tension that it was building. And so because it has those distinctions, some people, I understand also the hate that could come to this film. So it really depends upon how you kind of feel about those tonality changes, because it's really steep in this one. So on that level, it's kind of an engrossing watch to see such a huge tonality change. I did read after kind of stopping the movie, where the director talked about in the editing room, they took out stuff that wasn't working, that wasn't funny, or if they weren't getting reactions. And I don't know. The first half of the movie, I just didn't find even darkly humorous. So it was kind of interesting to kind of read an interview of what the director was kind of talking about and putting this film together. It makes sense, because the second half definitely has that. It just, again, it's I'm not saying it doesn't work. It just kind of leaves you pondering. It's interesting with it is it's just that the first half was just so meticulous and so well done and so well set up, that maybe that last hour and 5 minutes, just within the idea on the tonality change and all that, just maybe that payoff, just there's no way to sustain that. I think if it chose one way or the other to go in that route, then I think it would be a much tighter movie. We could put it up in the status of a great movie. There's a great movie in there, definitely. Like I said, it's just I don't think the movie's not bold. It's definitely bold. The director chose those moments. I wouldn't say he loses control of the movie. It's just somehow he wanted the first half to be one way and the second half, and it's kind of an experiment that just doesn't fully work. And so it makes it entertaining, doesn't make it a waste of time. It just isn't a movie that bears reviewing for me. Doesn't bear any kind of I wouldn't say scrutiny. It's a, oh man, it could have really been there. And like I said, it was worth the watch. I think it's great that it made some money. We should support definitely original ideas. It tries to do something interesting with witches and have fun with it on one level. I'm just, the ending where the witch gets hers is pretty good. But like I said, the way it follows the characters is rather interesting. But even then, there really isn't a payoff to any of those characters except Josh Brolin's character on one level. The teacher kind of gets vindicated, but even then, she's just really there to get tossed around and slammed and banged again. So, you know, there's that. Maybe if it followed less characters, I mean, the cop and the drug addict guy almost become unnecessary on one level. There's like some subplots with that police officer that you're just kind of like, okay. And it fleshes out a character that ultimately didn't need to be fleshed out in some sense. And then ultimately the one character, the little boy that we kind of need fleshed out, is fleshed out, but then it kind of ruins the tonality of the film. And I think it would have been a little bit more, to me, a little bit more interesting that we don't see this setup in the abduction of the kids from the witch's standpoint, but maybe the tension and aftermath of that. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good when the movie ends that you go, hey, man, there's a great film in there. At the end of the day, it becomes an entertaining movie with some plot holes that just kind of needed to be tightened up. But, you know, valiant effort. I say give it a watch. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below. Moving on, and yeah, please subscribe if you like my review or want to see other reviews. Have a good one, everyone.